Even Jon Stewart is sick of the Democrats and them feigning moral superiority over everybody else. You guys have got to check this out.
The opening act, grabbing headlines for all the wrong reasons. A comedian who offered unfunny, racist, cringeworthy jokes.
Basically calling Puerto Ricans trash.
The most repulsive racial jokes about Latinos.
Disgusting and hateful.
So incredibly crude.
Frankly, just too X-rated to play here.
Extremely vile so-called jokes.
Extremely vile so-called jokes. She name-checked my comedy album from the 90s. I don't know who's AI, me or that guy. Now, obviously, in retrospect, having a roast comedian come to a political rally a week before Election Day and roasting a key voting demographic, probably not the best decision by the campaign politically. But to be fair, the guy's really just doing what he does. I mean, here he is at the Tom Brady roast a few months ago.
The great Jeff Ross, ladies and gentlemen. Jeff is so Jewish, he only watches football for the coin toss. Gronk, you look like the Nazi that kept burning himself on the ovens. Kevin is so small that when his ancestors picked cotton, they called it deadlifting.
Yes, of course. Terrible, boo, yes. There's something wrong with me. I find that guy very funny. So, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, bringing him to a rally and have him not do roast jokes, that'd be like bringing Beyonce to a rally and not have...
An absolutely perfect segment. Doesn't happen so often with Jon Stewart lately, but thankfully this one, right in the nick of time, at the perfect time right ahead of election, hits the nail square on the head. I mean, really? This is what you've got? Fake outrage over a joke told by an edgy roast comedian who, as I stated in my last intro, was literally introed as roast comedian. It's unbelievable, and it reeks of desperation. And I know a lot of you guys are on Twitter and you see all the brain rot content. Oh, there's X amount % of Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania. Donald Trump's got a big problem. Really? Come on, you know, the left, once again, operating with this very naive worldview, frankly, this very insulting and demeaning, and I'd even say racist worldview, that people of particular descent are a monolith and all think the same way, and you can manipulate them with such nonsense. Oh, a comedian made a joke about Puerto Ricans. That means now that all Puerto Ricans are going to vote for Kamala Harris. They're going to vote for globalism and socialism, crime, chaos, and inflation because a comedian told a joke. And we're running this big, phony, fake outrage campaign to try to gaslight them into doing so. It's so ridiculous. It's dumb identity politics that most people just simply can't relate to. Puerto Ricans, again, are like everybody else, like I keep saying. You know, Democrats don't seem to understand this, that the color of our skin, the language we speak, the flag that represents our nationality doesn't dictate our vote. You know what does? Actual policy.
What world are we living in where people are more outraged by a raunchy comedian saying a joke about Puerto Ricans than the sitting president of the United States calling all Donald Trump supporters trash? You cannot make up this hypocrisy. Does CNN and MSNBC blatantly know what they are doing? They're not even pretending to be journalists anymore. These are political activists. I mean, to be fair, if I was Trump, would I have put the comedian on stage? Probably not. But do you think he was looking through every single person, looking through their speeches? No, the man's got a lot to do. He's not focused on that. But the saddest thing about it is that I saw news corporations writing Donald Trump said this, Donald Trump said that. No, it was a comedian. It wasn't Donald Trump. That's a libel for even saying that. But just because it's a Trump supporter who said it, we're going to call this man a Nazi and the worst person alive? No, it's a freaking joke. If you don't like it, move on with your life. You don't have to watch that comedian again. I'm so sick of the fake outrage and the cancel culture that comes with this toxic Democratic Party.
No.
That's not enough.
I'd rather see it to believe it, you know? Everybody gets extra clouded words. Fernando Santiago already cast his vote for former President Donald Trump.
Actions speak louder than words, and what people are interested in is good policy that makes their life better, not pearl clutching over a comedian's words. And that's the funniest part. The left is trying so hard to connect this to Donald Trump. Oh, this comedian made a joke that didn't land very well and might have been a little bit too edgy at the Trump rally. Oh, therefore that's what Donald Trump believes, and that proves that the MAGA movement is Hitlerian in nature and racist and deeply bigoted and fascist. Donald Trump didn't even say the thing. That's the craziest part. You know, these words that supposedly are gonna take down Donald Trump didn't even come from him. They came from another individual. You know, I can't believe I have to explain this to the left, but it's not surprising considering they're, essentially collectivists. Most of these people don't even seem to have an internal monologue. They're just part of some collective propagandized hive mind, but they don't seem to understand the concept of individuality. There's all kinds of people who say different things and have different beliefs. You can't then take those statements and those beliefs and then attribute them to somebody else. You know, kind of like the whole Project 2025 thing that you guys kept trying to do. Oh, Donald Trump and his Project 2025. Yeah, only one problem. Donald Trump didn't invent Project 2025. He didn't write it. He never endorsed it. It's not part of his official campaign platform. He's a different individual. I know, it's a hard concept to understand. Tony Hinchcliffe is not Donald Trump, but pretty much right on cue, as predicted. Just like I said, this thing was going to backfire. There's no way that this was going to work, especially not in America. The land of stand-up comedy. Condemning a comedian and attempting to misrepresent his art as Donald Trump's political platform is insane. Once again, it seems like the left doesn't understand their own audience. I mean, just think about it, for instance. I just mentioned how stand-up comedy is one of America's favorite pastimes. It's an American tradition, and it's a huge American export. Americans love humor, stand-up comedy, and they love edgy jokes, and that includes Democrats, Republicans, and independents. I mean, look at all the major cities. Where are the biggest comedy shows? Where's the biggest comedy culture, whatever you want to call it? In all the big, blue, Democrat-run metropolitan areas. Even most people on the left love comedy. It's a form of art, and people are able to make the distinction between a joke, between an act, and something actually official. But now Democrats expect condemning comedy is going to work for them with their own audience.
If someone was genuinely outraged by what the comedian said, then take it out on the comedian, not Donald Trump. And if you thought that was crossing the line, why don't you go back and watch some Don Rickles clips and see when he was talking with Ronald Reagan, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. That is not bad at all. I'm Irish. If he said the same exact joke for Ireland, I would think it's funny. I would move on. I would not try and destroy both him and Donald Trump's career just for cracking a joke. What type of society are we going to live in when we study every single joke that ever gets made, and if it ever crosses the line, we're going to go after this person? I don't want to live in some 1984 Orwellian world. And if you do, that's totally fine. Just go over and move to North Korea and leave us the heck alone. And do you think it was a coincidence that right after that comedian went on stage, said the joke about Puerto Rico, not even 10 minutes later, Kamala Harris responds, I love everyone from Puerto Rico. Everyone deserves respect. Yeah, no doubt, lady. Everybody deserves respect. This doesn't matter what race or religion you are. I just found it incredibly fishy how she had a professionally made video about Puerto Rico done in such a short amount of time. And then within the hour, a famous Puerto Rican singer, I think his name is Bad Bunny, comes out and supports Kamala. I just don't believe in coincidences anymore. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Were any of you guys actually offended by that joke? Or would you be if it was attacking your culture? And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.